watching Star Wars for the first time. I think just sitting in the cinema and getting a shiver on just when the music started and the titles came up.
I remember Flashers. I remember going at the playing fields up where we used to live, and some bloke getting his Corey out and that. Not on us.
I've been a fan of Star Wars ever since.
I think our mum got flashed at once, I think. She went back for a second look. No,
even though we're talking like a generation ago, when I was growing up as a kid, it was a lot safer. My parents would probably say exactly the same thing about when they were kids. When I think about it, I wouldn't want to be a kid growing up now.
I suppose there's always perverted people around and stuff, but as a kids, I never saw it.
I'm more aware of the dangers out there than when you're a kid. But when I think about my childhood and growing up, it was endless summers. I know it's a bit of a cliche. You felt safe, you didn't worry about things.
I can remember walking home, and all that was stuck in my mind was the scene where Luke looks out at the twin sunset thing.
One thing I remember we used to do down where Sanford Park is, and where the river runs along the park and it goes underneath the road. We used to be able to climb over the railings there, and if you went down by the tunnel where the river went under the road, there was another smaller access tunnel which you could crawl down, and we used to crawl down there as mates, and quite often there'd be a bunch of us, say 4, 5 or 6 of us. We would go into this tunnel, which was pretty scary as it was pitch black and you're being told there are rats down in the tunnel, and you have not got a clue where this tunnel leads apart from the one kid who's with you who assures you that it does come out on the other side of the park. But you're going in there with visions of being stuck down there for days. But we crawl through there and you're literally holding on to the person in front of you because you cannot see a thing, and generally everybody just trying to wind each other up in terms of, oh, I felt a rat or something like that. But it felt like you'd in this tunnel for half an hour or so, but basically you follow it through and it came out, it went right under the road, right through the park, and came up on the other side of the park, and it was like coming out to daylight the other side. You really did feel like you'd risked your life going down there, and it was a great relief to come out the other side.
You didn't have any, financial worries or nothing like that. I think it's different for kids these days. They're more sort of worried about more adult things, about what they look like and fashion and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can remember just buying anything to do with Star Wars, whether it's a pencil case, a ruler, a rubber, if it had a stormtrooper on it or anything, I had to have it.
We used to wind people up and stuff, up the estate, we used to get the old stones and chuck them at, the old cherry knocking. But it was never to the point that you really pissed people off. It'd be like, right, out of the estate of people, there'd be two or three people that if you did piss them off big time, you'd get battered by them.
My parents bought me a Rally Chipper, which was ace. It was like the Rally Chopper, but for the younger kid, had a similar saddle, and it was bright yellow, if I remember right. One sour note was, I remember there was this girl who was bigger than me, who was on the pavement, and as I rode past her, she kicked the back of the bike, and I kind of went off the curb, and as I went off the curb, the part of the frame scraped against the curb, and I got a scratch on it on the first day of having it.
You didn't go out thinking, I've got to watch out for this, I've got to watch out for that. It's all hoodies and paedophiles these days. If I have children, I'm going to see myself sat there really worried and concerned every time they leave the house. And it probably was like that for my mum and dad, but I don't think as much as what it is for people nowadays.
You went to see it at the cinema, and then that was it until it came out on TV. So you had to wait about 5 years.
ASBOs and the amount of morons around today, and that's down to the fact that it's down to the parents, really. I think a lot of the time it's down to the parents. It wasn't around years ago, and when we were kids, people said back in our day we never used to lock our eyes. There were always a few dinlos around, and there were troublemakers, and there were people to steer clear of. And we got the odd scrap and stuff with the people you still, the Gibbses and the Breslins and people like that. But I don't think even they were named sort of hard nuts, but they weren't completely like delinquents like they are today.